In the quiet hills of Kentucky, a tragedy unfolded that left the community in shock. A respected sheriff, known for keeping the peace, now finds himself accused of a crime that has shaken the foundation of justice itself. The victim, a judge, aimed in cold blood. How did this sheriff go from upholding the law to breaking it in the most brutal way? Was it finding his own daughter's phone number on the judge's phone? What happened between the judge and the sheriff's daughter? And could it have driven him over the edge? Welcome back, everyone, to True Crime Desk. I'm Richard.
I'm Maria.
And today we're going to go over the case of Sean Stine. It's Stine, right? S-T-I-N.
Yes.
I was going to say Stern for some reason. Yeah, this case just happened, I think it was September. And he's been in court over some different preliminary stuff. So he hasn't even gone to trial yet. I'm not sure if he's going to plea or not. But it was seemed really, it's something I've never seen before. I don't know if you ever heard of something like this, but it's pretty crazy.
It's very crazy. And no, I never have. And a lot of people are just shocked because it was a small town and they knew each other and they were, friends. So like, they don't understand. It's really odd.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why I thought we can do it, even though, like I said, it's not solved, but we have enough info to get it out there. And when it goes to court, if he does go to court, he doesn't plea, I'll probably do a video. We'll probably do one on that as well. Maybe obviously after the trial is over. I'm not going to go day to day, but so let's get into it. Let's give a little backstory on this guy.
Okay.
All right. So his name was Sean Stine. And he was born in November of 1980, and he lived in the state of Kentucky. And he went by Mickey. So everybody, we're gonna call him Mickey for now on because he wanted to go by Mickey. Maybe he was a Disney fan. I don't know. I'm not sure. I never found out why they called him Mickey, but they say he went by Mickey. So he was elected the sheriff of Letcher County and was reelected in 2022 or 2022, however you want to say it. And Mickey had a teenage daughter. So that teenage daughter at this point is going to become pivotal, I think. That's one thing I've heard.
Yes, I agree with you. There's something odd going on there. And honestly, I don't want him to take a plea because I want to know what the heck happened. I want to know what the reason was.
I agree with you 100%. I'm kind of hoping he doesn't take a plea because there's a lot going on. Before this case, there was a lot going on.
Correct. Something is off. Definitely.
Right, and we're not going to go into depth of that previous stuff, but I'll mention it a little bit because I'm not sure how that's going to play in this case, but there's some odd stuff going on. So now the victim in this case, his name was Kevin Mullen, and he was born in June of 1970, and he lived in Kentucky as well. He earned his bachelor degree and a law degree in 1995, and he was admitted to the Kentucky Bar Association in 2001. Now, Kevin started serving as an assistant Commonwealth attorney in Letcher County and worked out of the county courthouse in Whitesburg. So I think it's Whitesburg. So he worked out of the county. 2009, to fill a vacancy, Kevin was appointed a 47th District Court judge by the governor. And he was reelected to that position in 2010 and then reelected a few times. So he was there for a while. Now, Mickey Stine and Kevin Mullen were friends for many years, and at one point, Kevin worked as a bailiff in his courtroom. So these guys were close. He's close enough to work as a bailiff in his courtroom, which, I don't know if you're familiar with the bailiff, he pretty much protects the judge in a lot of circumstances.
Correct.
He trusted enough to be doing that job, so they were close.
Yep. They were close. They had lunches together. They were not just coworkers. It seems like they were friends.
Yeah, that's kind of why it was so shocking to people, as you mentioned earlier, because it is a small area from what I understand, and these guys were seen together all the time,
right?
And they were tight, I guess you'd say. And so for this thing that we're going to talk about happening, that's pretty crazy.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So and one thing we're not going to go over, but I actually have it here, is in January of 2022, there was a woman that was suing Mickey. Now, Mickey, like I said, was a sheriff. She was suing him over one of his officers supposedly assaulted a female. She wasn't a prisoner, but she was charged with a crime. I don't know exactly what it was, and in order for her not to go back to jail, the story goes, is that she made a deal with him that she would have sex with him, and they would she wouldn't have to go to jail. So he basically tricked her. And
Right.
so she was suing Mickey. As far as I know, she was suing Mickey. I'm not sure why she was suing him. Maybe because it was his officer or he knew about it. I don't. Like I
Um,
said, there's a lot in that we're not going to
right,
go over. But
right.
I don't know if that has anything to do with this case or not. But that's kind of strange too, because it was like a. And I don't know how if the judge was involved in that. I don't want to. I don't want to get out accusing people and I don't have facts. But that is a little strange that that's been going on.
Well, she was actually suing. He was actually not the main person that was being sued. The sheriff
Right,
wasn't
it's
the
part
main
of a
person,
suit.
but it was in regards to him not training and supervising the deputy properly. That's what it was in there. And then she was actually incarcerated at home. So so that was the reason he was saying, "Oh, if you do this and this for me, then you won't have to go back to prison or go to jail."
Yeah, it's house arrest or something.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I knew there was a little on it. I didn't want to go dive too deep into that, so I didn't. I don't have a lot of info. I'm glad you have that because that helps. It gives it more context. I was a little vague. I wasn't trying to be vague. I just didn't have a lot. I didn't want to put a bunch of that stuff in here because I don't know what part that plays, and so I don't know
Right,
if one has
right,
anything to do with the other. So I didn't really want to. I didn't want to. What do they call it? Dirty the water, I guess they say, or muddy the water. Oh,
right.
muddy, dirty. It's
Well,
dirty
they're
either way,
not.
right?
They also were
Doesn't
saying
matter.
that they're not sure what part that plays either, if it does or not.
Right.
They're not sure. Yeah.
Now there is surveillance footage of the judge and the sheriff in his chambers, which was really small, by the way. That kind of surprised me how small it was.
Yeah, me too. I was shocked too. I thought they'd be bigger than that.
I guess everything over this town's small, and I don't
That's
know.
true.
It just seemed weird. It was just like really
It was
small. Now I
very
know
small.
there.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I know there's which we'll show it. I'll put some images in there, but there's no audio, unfortunately, so we couldn't hear what they were saying. But you can basically see the two of them were there talking, and then all of a sudden he puts his hands up and pulls his gun out, and he's cowering behind the table trying to get away, and all the images that I seen they blur out the judge's face, but he does shoot him, and then as he's walking out, he shoots him again. He like
Correct.
takes special aim and
Correct.
shoots him again.
Yeah. So
So
so apparently they didn't used to have camera footage in that chambers, but after the incident with the deputy, because he was taking the women
oh,
with numerous women, from my understanding, they put the cameras in there after that was happening. And so that's why the cameras were there. He actually shot him numerous times. Then before he left, he walked and he went to the side and because he was still
so I said he took
alive, and
special
shot
aim,
him
shot him
again.
again.
But it showed in the footage, it happened that he apparently called his daughter on his phone, his cell phone. The sheriff did. Then he proceeded to ask the judge for his phone. When the judge gave him his phone, the daughter's phone number was already in his phone. He
Right.
called the daughter from that phone, and directly after that is when he jumped up and proceeded to shoot the judge. And the judge, like you said, was cowering and yelling for help.
Nowhere to
Um,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that about us.
yeah,
I was kind of curious about the cameras, and then at first I thought, well, it's a judge's chamber, so they probably do that all the time. But I didn't hear that. That's why they did it.
yep,
So,
yep. That is why.
so I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it depends how you look at it. But yeah, it's like you said that the story with his daughter's phone number being in his phone, the judge's phone,
Correct.
and that pushing him over the edge. I'm not sure if that's we don't know at this point. Like I said, that's we're still learning. But he also claimed that his wife and family, my wife and daughter, they were trying to kidnap him. That's something he
Correct.
said as well. So we don't know about that yet. We're still getting there. We're not trying to be vague. We just don't have all the info yet.
Right.
But it's definitely interesting, and so it's gonna be like I said, like you said earlier. I agree with you 100%. Is I don't want him to plea. I want this to go to the trial. Now, the only reason I think it might plea is because there might be a lot of other people trying to hide things. We don't know.
Right. There's a lot of
So,
speculation going on, apparently,
right.
oh, the judge may have been doing,
Yes,
bad
exactly.
things. Oh, the sheriff may have been doing. I mean, nobody knows. But I mean, I'm hopeful that if they do go to trial, that it comes out what was really going on, because unfortunately when people do go to trials and things, they don't always do that. They don't always tell you everything. They just, oh, well, I want to save my life or my butt. So I, go a different direction. But I would like to know what the heck caused all
Yep.
this. They were friends, they were co-workers. Like you said, he protected him when he was a bailiff. So a lot going on here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's quite strange, and
Correct.
I don't know how much footage I've only seen. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen video at all. I've only seen stills. Did you see video?
I did see the video, but it's hard to see. They show it like on the teeny little screen, and it's really hard
Right.
to see, but you do see the judge. So like the sheriff kind of stood up, like say where I'm sitting, and the judge would be straight across from me to kind of a little bit to
Right.
the left, and he kind of ran to the corner, but like you said, it was so small in there, and he was down. I mean, he literally had his hands over his face and was,
Yeah.
cowering.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's sad. I mean, if there was something nefarious going on with the judge, that's horrifying. And it's really a crazy thing for me, because I mean, if something really bad was going on, which we don't know,
Right.
something clicked in that guy, and here we go. But oof, I don't know. I don't know. Guess we'll find out hopefully later.
Yeah. I don't know. No. One thing I did see. Did you see any of the preliminary hearings or any of that stuff? Did you see any of that?
I did, and I was a little frustrated because the detective on the stand had no answers for the questions, and it had been weeks.
Right.
And
Well,
that drove me nuts.
he might have answers that he doesn't want to, for keeping it close to the vest, as
It
they
could
say.
be.
I don't
It
know.
could be. Yeah.
I don't really know why they would do that in a certain circle. You kind of understand why they would, and then you don't, because it is a preliminary and there is no jury, so you want to get that evidence to see if it has to go to trial. So
Right.
you wouldn't think you'd keep things back, because if you do, then they might not, say there's enough evidence. I guess
Right.
they'd say.
Right.
I mean, there's obviously, I don't think he's not denying that he shot him. That's a fact.
Well, it's on video
So-
too, so you can't get past
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that part is not being denied. So it's a little different there. But the reason I brought it up is the one thing I noticed is that they played the video in the courtroom, and the family members were watching it, and they were just sobbing.
Oh my gosh. I
screaming.
couldn't
Yeah.
imagine. Could not imagine. It's
Yeah.
horrific. Horrific.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's very unique sound. It's very sad. You could hear that because they played that video, and I think that was the first time they seen it. And
I've never heard
Yeah,
that before in a courtroom, to be honest with you.
what the
The,
screaming.
the crying and wailing like that. Never heard of that kind of thing before.
Yeah, a lot of times they try to say maintain if you can,
Mhm.
if you can't go outside, because they understand sometimes you can. I mean, but
Right.
yeah, it was.
And
It was
maybe
pretty,
because it was
audible.
preliminary, maybe that's why they weren't so strict about it. But I mean, how can the people probably didn't even know they were going to react that way? Oh, it can make me cry.
Right.
It can make me cry. So
Yeah,
I mean, for you and I, it's like a shocking what the heck caused this. But I couldn't imagine the family what they're thinking, because once again, like I said before, they were friends and they were coworkers, and the family's probably what caused all this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it said that his attorney announced that he announced that said he was going to retire. He retired on Monday after the governor threatened to fire him or remove him. Of course, I mean,
Right.
he just shot a judge. I mean, I don't know what the sentencing is out there. I don't know if the death penalty is actually on the table, but a lot of times in other cases and other places, when you shoot somebody like a judge, it's usually the death penalty is in play. But like I said, every state is different. Some places don't even have it. I know here in California, they don't even want to use it anymore.
Yeah,
So
I don't
I'm
know
not
what it
sure.
is there either. I have they didn't mention that, so I don't know. I know it's definitely something strong, but I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a D penalty. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. But I guess we'll find
Yeah.
out once they start going to trial. They went pretty quick to this hearing, so maybe they'll go quick to the trial. I don't know.
Right. I know one thing, I mean, a laugh, but one thing the attorney said is that in a statement that his decision to step down has no connection to the Emming, which that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Would you like, really?
Lawyers
does it
sometimes
matter?
get on my nerves. They think we're ignorant.
Yeah.
It's stupid. That was
Does
just-
it matter whether he resigned or not? You're done as far as working in law enforcement.
right?
I mean, it doesn't
Right.
matter if they even said you're out of here.
The fact that you could think that I'm not saying this gentleman thought this, but for anyone to think that they could just go back to work, oh, let me go back to work after I just, executed someone in your chambers is ridiculous, just crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
Mhm.
it's like you said, the investigator. I think the investigator's name was Stamper, the lead investigator you were talking about.
Yeah, the one that knew
The one that
nothing.
did
Yeah.
the one that did, yeah, they were frustrated with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, the only thing that they mentioned is some of the stuff that we talked about already as far as him calling his daughter on his own personal phone,
Right.
the sheriff, and then asking for the judge's phone, Judge Mullins' phone, and him handing it to him and him finding his daughter's number in there. That's a little odd now. His daughter's a teenager. She's not an adult. I think
Yeah.
she's 14 or 15, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
There,
But that is strange.
yes, it is very strange. There was a video I seen after I watched the hearing. There was a video that came out. It was showing the sheriff with his daughter in the back seat of a his
Yes.
car. Did you see the video where they're singing
Yeah,
the song? I shot the sheriff,
I know.
and she was
And that
literally back there wearing like it looked like she was wearing like
little
a orange jersey kind of thing that you would be in when you were in prison or whatever. But yeah, that was really weird. The whole thing, it was just odd.
I don't think they wear jerseys. They're
Not
not a
jersey, but you know
team.
what I mean? The orange,
Yeah.
this, whatever they call those suits or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they're
little
not jerseys. That's
jumpsuit
right.
or yeah, their orange jumpsuit or whatever they call
Jumpsuit.
it,
That's what I was trying to
or
think of. Yeah.
prison garb.
Yeah.
I know that out here in I know it's had nothing to do with it, but out here in I think it was out here in San Bernardino County, the sheriff was having them wear pink. So
Really?
they had pink Crocs and stuff like that. Yeah, I know that was a thing out here. They were wearing
Wow.
pink.
That's odd.
Like I said, it has nothing to do. But yeah, you're right. There is. I didn't see the video. Once again, I didn't see the video, but I did see the images. I heard the story that yeah, she was in the back seat, and yeah, that's a little weird,
Yeah.
especially the song itself.
I
I shot the
know.
sheriff, and
I
it's kind of like
know.
it's a little. That's a little weird. I mean, if it would have
Yeah.
been roles reversed, that would have really been weird because it would have literally been exactly what happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like I said, he did mention that. He mentioned right afterwards because that's the other thing too is after the shooting, he immediately walked outside and turned himself in.
Right.
Immediately.
He did.
And he said
Yes.
they're trying to kidnap my wife and daughter. Now, who is they?
Right.
I mean, the only thing we know at this point that's been confirmed is that he said that his wife and daughter were going to be kidnapped, and they confirmed that he said that, and that he found his daughter's phone number on the judge's phone. It was on Judge Mullins' phone. That is
Correct.
that has
Correct.
been proven. But as far as the allegations from the previous things and that lady, and there was more than one, by the way,
Right.
and all that other stuff, we don't know what's related at this point. But so those are the only two things I know that have been confirmed. Like you said, the lead detective didn't want to say too much.
Well, going
So
back to that
he
lead
didn't.
detective, one thing that did frustrate me and I thought was really odd was the defense lawyer asked him, "Did you take possession of the daughter's phone?" The answer was no. To me, I don't understand why they would not have done that because there may be things on her phone because the judge had her number. There may be things on her phone that would give some evidence of if something was going on. So I don't understand why they wouldn't have taken possession of her phone.
Yeah, that I didn't hear that either, and that's ridiculous. You have to
Yes.
look at it like this too. You can't automatically, and I don't want to. We're not doing that here, assuming that the judge isn't bad because her phone number.
Oh no,
It
not
is a
at
little
all. But it
strange.
might give some show that nothing was going on, or I mean, who knows? But
Yeah,
it will show
it,
something.
yeah, it is a little strange that a teenager's phone number is in his phone. But like I said, the two of them are close, and if she was being abused or something in some way, or she had some evidence that something was happening at school, whatever, and she wanted to give it, she was talking to the judge like maybe a narc or undercover type thing, and that is always possible too. So it
Or
can't be
asking
all
for help or
automatically
something.
assumed
Right.
that it's a bad thing. It could have been a legitimately good thing, but he just saw the number there, and just it's his daughter. I don't have a daughter. I could only imagine. So we have to try to be fair and look at it from both sides. So we're just putting the info out there. We're not coming to any conclusions, and we're not accusing anybody of anything. Everything is alleged at this
Right.
point.
One thing I did forget to bring up, Richard, was that before this incident happened, they actually, with some other coworkers, had went to have lunch together. They were eating lunch together. And during this lunch, one of the other people that were there heard the judge say to the sheriff, "We should take this to my chambers."
Right.
So they got up and walked to the court because it's so close. Because like once again,
Across
it's
the street, I
small.
think. Yeah.
But they don't know what the subject was about. He just said it out of nowhere, and then they went to the chamber. So there's something. I feel like there was something going on. I mean, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It feels like something was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm not, I'd hate to have it come out that the judge was doing what I said. He was just like
Right.
trying to help
Trying
her
to
in a
help
bad
in some way.
situation, and he didn't give him a chance to explain it, and then he'll find out later on and realize, oh, I messed up,
Yeah.
But then again, if it's what he's thinking, then that means she was being abused, and that's a bad thing too. So it's a no-win situation.
It is.
Only thing is the reputation of the judge is the only thing that would actually change one way or the other, because we know that he shot him, so we know that part already. So it's just a matter of whether he was in his right mind, whether that's what we're gonna have to be determined of what's going on, and when the more evidence comes out, then we'll see what happens. But it's definitely gonna be really interesting. That's like we said multiple times. I said twice. You said at least once that we don't want it to play. We want this to go to trial for sure.
Correct.
I think that's all we have at this point, really.
Yeah.
Anything else that I know?
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely had some things I didn't pick up on. Like I said, it's fresh. It's still moving here.
Right.
It's I saw it and it's like, wow, I want to do this one. Really interested. I want to get it out there and see if I can find enough info, because I don't want to put a bunch of allegations out there. It's a worthless video to do that. But I wanted to get some where we are at the moment.
Right.
And see how it goes.
Right. And if more comes out, we'll definitely update everybody. And, yeah.
So that's all you have, huh?
Yes, that's all I got.
All right, guys. So hopefully that you got something out of that, and if you got some info and informed you, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. So let us know if there's something in the comments that you have, in the comments, something we missed, something that happened since we've done this video, because it's like I said, it's rapid fire right now. Definitely put it down below, because we definitely want to have all the info out there. So if you know something we don't, we got something wrong, other than saying people's names, I'm well aware that happens to me all the time. So don't need to put that in there. And we'll move forward. So you have anything else?
Nope. Just thanks everybody for watching, and we'll keep you guys updated.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. So until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember to always mind your surroundings. Bye.
Bye.